Hello, welcome to HITC Sport.
Oh no, we lost a pre-season game against a bunch of pot-bellied Swedish plumbers. Oh, we're gonna get relegated for sure.
Every damn year, Premier League fans read way too much into a meaningless pre-season result. Honestly, these are just matches designed for the players to sweat out the hamburgers they ate on holiday. These games, they're a glorified treadmill. Who cares if you let a uni student from Stoke-on-Trent score against you? Good Christ, you read into these defeats the same way a teenage girl probably reads into a spot on her face, as if it's the end of the world. Anyway, let's take a look at every Premier League club and find the best young, exciting, attacking talent who has lit up pre-season for you so far. The one player who should actually make you excited in your bowels for next season. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Folarin Balogun. Folarin Balogun is a 20-year-old striker who clearly can't make up his mind. This is a fella who's already represented both England and the USA at underage level. So clearly, this is a guy who probably eats British scones for breakfast whilst ordering a triple Texas cheeseburger at the cinema. Good Christ, Balogun, make up your damn mind. Are you English or American? Anyway, weirdly, this 20-year-old striker has impressed so far. Yes, I know, losing away at Hibernian was enough to cause Arsenal fans to want to cough up their steak and kidney pie, but at least this kid looked decent. He was trying to shoot on sight. To be fair though, that 2-2 draw against Rangers, he played like a big bag of pig meat. Utterly invisible, and the embarrassing thing is, yes, Balogun got on the score sheet, but it was Leon Balogun. You know, the 33-year-old Rangers defender who used to sit on Wigan's bench. But he bounced back, clearly ate his morning Weetabix, because he scored in a 4-1 win over Millwall. He hasn't utterly ripped pre-season to shreds, and it could have been better for him, but he's looked decent. Aston Villa, Aaron Ramsey. If you told me 3 months ago that Ashley Young would spend pre-season playing alongside Aaron Ramsey, I'd assume that Max Allegri had just drank a pint of shampoo, and so decided to drag the Serie A winning right back to Juventus. No, lads, strap yourselves in for another 20 years of Aaron Ramsey in the Premier League. When I'm 40, I'm gonna be so sick to the teeth of saying the words Aaron and Ramsey in my life, I bet my mouth is gonna fill up with blood every time I do. It'll be 40 years of Aaron Ramsey. Listen, Jacob Ramsey is supposed to be the next big midfield star at Villa Park, but his 18-year-old kid brother Aaron has just scored in a 4-0 win at Walsall. He started on the left wing in the 2-0 defeat to Stoke, but he did play well and nearly scored another one. Lads, can you imagine if Aaron Ramsey had scored against Stoke? The new Aaron Ramsey. If that happened, I think the home fans might actually just chew a hole in their mouth. Brentford, Max Haygarth. Alright, here's a 19-year-old winger, Max Haygarth, who's just swapped Manchester United for Brentford. He looked lively in his cameo during the 3-1 win against Watford, and again, looked decent for an hour in the 2-2 draw against Manchester United, where he had a point to prove. To be fair, he might fade into obscurity, and in 5 years' time, he might be serving as popcorn at the cinema, but for now, he looks a half-decent prospect. Brighton, Leon Ostigard. Okay, to be fair, Brighton have only played 1 game so far. That was a dull-as-dishwater goalless draw at Rangers, but to be fair, the Brighton fan base are probably now drooling over Ben White's replacement. 21-year-old Norwegian defender Leo Ostigard. He spent last season on loan at Coventry. I know, that doesn't sound exciting, but the year before, he spent a season on loan at St. Pauli. So clearly, he ticks that big, fat, hipster checkbox for Graham Potter. And he did well against Rangers. Oh, you might think, oh, big deal. Collecting a clean sheet from Scotland is like stamping your letter at the post office. Ridiculously easy, right? Well, try and tell that to Real Madrid, who just travelled to Glasgow and got their dignity chewed up like damn cauliflower. But still, Ostigard, he looks like a rock-solid centre-half so far. I know it was only a pre-season match, but I'm guessing Jermaine Defoe went home that night and cried himself to sleep. Burnley, Anthony Gomez, Mancini. To be fair, a quick word on Lewis Richardson, an 18-year-old winger who's been at Burnley since the age of 8. The poor kid probably grew up with a poster of Sean Dyche beside his bed. Isn't that enough to make you feel violently ill? Anyway, to be fair, he also looked good and scored against Oldham, but the most exciting youngster so far, Anthony Gomez Mancini. This is why you should not judge a book by its cover. Looking at him, he looks like someone who's just been arrested for urinating in his neighbour's flower pots. The guy's only been alive for 20 years on this planet and can still already grow a full dad beard. When did he hit puberty? 9 years of age? Was he shaving at age 12? Anyway, the guy's a French central midfielder. He shot in the second half of the 2-0 win at Oldham and then was given a chance on the right wing in the 1-0 win at Blackpool, and he looked lively. But I'm sorry, Gomez Mancini? That name doesn't really sound like a Burnley employee, does it? Chelsea, Armando Broja. Okay, we shouldn't look too much into pre-season at Chelsea. Good Christ, they're still picking Danny Drinkwater in these games. And does anyone really think Thomas Tuchel plans on using him? The guy is probably so unfit. I wouldn't be surprised if he was coughing up his lunch after 20 minutes. But listen, Armando Broja is a 19-year-old forward who plays for Albania even though he was born in Slough. You know, the birthplace of David Brent. A town that looks so depressing. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone who lives there constantly looks like they're midway through a divorce. This is a kid who's been around elite level academy football for a while. Good Christ, he was signing for Tottenham when Martin Jol was the boss. That's before some of you were even alive. And he's been at Chelsea since the summer where they still had Andrei Shevchenko on their books. It's been so long since he played on a muddy training pitch. This fella spent his entire childhood at Premier League London clubs. It's almost depressing in a way. Good Christ, when was the last time he was allowed to eat a slice of pizza? When he was the age of 4? Every birthday of his childhood. What, does he wake up at 7 AM to do 17 laps of a training pitch before blowing out the candles on a cake made of spinach? Oh, just a bit depressing. Anyway, he's looked sharp in pre-season, scored in the 6-1 win over Peterborough, and then got another goal in the 2-1 win at Bournemouth. Just a shame though, in about 5 years, he'll probably be to a 7th consecutive loan spell away from the club, living in some 3-star Belgian hotel for 6 months, with the current Chelsea boss, probably John Terry by then, just confusing him with the local postman, Crystal Palace Jesurun Rak-Sakyi. Yeah, Edozie might be out injured. And Wilfred Zaha again looks like he'd rather spend 9 months milking cows on an Indonesian farm than spend a 10th season of his life at Sellers Park. But listen, England-born Ghanaian winger Jesurun Rak-Sakyi has caught the eye of Patrick Vieira. He was stuck on the right wing and scored in the 2-2 draw with Charlton. He's shown pace, trickery and end product. He's 18, yet to make his debut so far, but lads, he's looked very decent. Everton, Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon is the next big thing on the talent conveyor belt at Goodison Park, right? He's the next Ross Barkley, isn't he? A 20-year-old Scouse attacking midfielder. He scored in the 3-0 win over Accrington Stanley. Surely, I know he missed a penalty in the shootout against Milan Arios in the Florida Cup, but I'm pretty sure Rafa Benitez cared more about what he was having for lunch that day than the score in that meaningless match. I mean, who wants to win the Florida Cup? I bet the trophy probably looked like something you'd win in a vending machine. Good Christ, Asmir Begovic scored the winning penalty. Did any of you read about that in the media? No, because it's about as important as knowing how many times I used the toilet today. None, by the way, my bowels look like an undercooked French omelette. But yeah, Gordon has looked class so far. He's going to be a brilliant player for England. Leeds Sam Greenwood. What is with all the Greenwoods? I honestly don't think I'd ever met one until the summer of 2018. Now, it's a worldwide epidemic in this sport. They're everywhere. Now you have Alex Greenwood, Mason Greenwood. There's even a Reece Greenwood who plays in Iceland. I can't escape them. Even a few months ago, I was doing an interview on something called the Greenwood and Mullinger Show. Am I the only one who's noticed the rise in the Greenwoods? It's almost like an army taking over the world. I feel like I'm living in a Will Smith horror movie, except instead of running away from zombified monsters, I'm hiding behind the couch from left backs called Greenwood. Here's another 19-year-old Greenwood, Sam Greenwood, from Sunderland, a former Arsenal trainee striker who moved to Leeds for nearly £2 million in 2018. Anyway, he scored in the friendly 3-2 win against Guiseley. Looked pretty bright and dangerous in the 1-1 draw at Blackburn Rovers. He's looked pretty good. Leicester, Tawandi Maswanhise. Okay, so far Leicester have lost on penalties to Burton Albion and been beaten up at Wycombe Wanderers. It's not been ideal, but Tazwan Maswanhise has looked good. A fearless teenage left winger who took on his player, nearly set up Jimmy Vardy for a goal at Wycombe. And honestly, he looks like a young Ashley Young, future top player. And honestly, when he winds up playing for England, he's probably going to have the most distinctive name of any England international ever. Let's hope he doesn't end up missing an important penalty, right? Liverpool, Harvey, Elliott. We're looking at the new Gaza. Forget the Phil Foden comparisons. You can bleach your hair like Sandy Mustard all you want, but good Christ, this guy is a media-trained robot who clearly has the personality of a block of cheese. You can dress up like Gaza for Halloween if you want, but you are nothing like him. Harvey Elliott, though. This guy, he was already banned by the FA at the age of 16 for insulting Harry Kane. When Real Madrid tried to sign him, he snubbed the chance to meet Sergio Ramos out of loyalty to Salah. This guy, he just doesn't care. And clearly he's not self-conscious, because otherwise why else would he choose to look and dress like he's stapled a dead peacock to his head? This guy is a character, but not only that, good Christ, he has skill. He was playing for the Fulham first team age 15 for Christ's sake. Now he's 18 and he looks absolutely brilliant on the ball. Fast, exciting, unless he gets distracted by the nightclubs reopening in town. Unless he drinks his liver into the size of a peanut, then good Christ, he's going to be a world-class footballer. I'm going to say it, this guy is a street footballer. He is the next Joe Cole. And again, he's looked utterly brilliant in pre-season so far. Man City, Samuel Edozie. It must be impossible trying to break into Man City's front line right now. Here we have an 18-year-old former Millwall youth winger, Samuel Edozie. Lads, if he manages to play more than 10 Premier League games for Man City, then I'll gladly eat the entire contents of a public bin. But to be fair, he came off the bench and scored in a 2-0 home win over Preston. He's looked pretty good. Man United, Anthony Elanga. Results-wise, Manchester United's pre-season so far has been a giant lump of rotten shepherd's pie. Come on, conceding 4 QPR. What? But lad, some of the lads who played that day. Shola Shortire is a Geordie striker born in February 2004. I don't care what anyone says. He was definitely named after Shola Amiobi, wasn't he? You know, a striker with the movement of a broken microwave. But it gets worse. Being named after Amiobi is one thing, but another player who Man United had on the pitch, his first name is Hannibal. Oh, that's great. Name your child after a serial killer who eats people's faces. That's a great way to alienate your child on the first day of school. Honestly, what is with all the weird names? Why can't you just name your kids something normal like Pete? Maybe not Pete, that's actually a horrible name. Anyway, where was I? Who played well for Man United? Right. Teenage Uruguayan winger Facundo Palestri has looked good, but 19-year-old Swedish striker Anthony Elanga scored against QPR and then against Brentford. He's just a bit unlucky that Mason Greenwood is the same age and clearly stealing his thunder at club level, while Alexander Isak is getting all the attention as Sweden's next big hotshot striker. My prediction, within 5 years, Elanga is going to be a mid-table 10-goal-a-season striker for West Ham, and if Shola Shortire does not wind up back at Newcastle with a name like that, then I give up. I'll just pull out my own teeth. Newcastle, Kelland Watts. Newcastle's preseason has been a disaster. Losing 1-0 at York, needing a last-minute Jeff Hendrick goal to salvage a 1-1 draw against Rotherham, squeezing a sloppy 3-2 away win at Doncaster Rovers. Oh yeah, and the fans booed you off the pitch and abused Steve Bruce. It's been another nightmare. The only ray of positivity you can squeeze out of this, 21-year-old defender Kelland Watts. He's been at the club since joining in 2008, aged 9. Back when Newcastle fans were desperately trying to get Mike Ashley out of the club. To prove how long Ashley has hung in there for, this kid has grown up, he's in his 20s, and now plays for the Newcastle first team. Newcastle have been wanting Ashley out since this guy was 9 years of age. He is an embodiment of Ashley's tenure. But yeah, he's slotted into a back three. Apparently the club want to sign Axel Tuanzebe, but Watts has looked comfortable on the ball. No mistakes so far. I think we're looking at the next Paul Dummett. Yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment. Norwich, Adam Idah. I need Adam Idah to come. I really need Adam Idah to come good. I've almost given up on Troy Parrott, so Idah, a 20-year-old striker from Cork, please just be the next Norwich goal machine. He scored in the 3-1 win at Kingsland Town and scored again in the 2-0 home win over Huddersfield. Please just let this guy blow up in the Premier League this season. Please, I need something to cheer us up. Anything. Please. Southampton, Nathan Tella. Okay, Nathan Tella is 22 now. He's not exactly young. To be fair, he probably looks at Bukayo Saka and is filled with a molten hot red rage, as if Saka's just stolen his wife. Cause listen, Saka is living Tella's dream. Don't forget, this guy spent 10 years on the books of Arsenal. He'd have spent every night going to bed dreaming of playing for the Gunners and representing England at tournaments. Instead, he has to settle for Southampton's bench. But to be fair, in pre-season, utterly ripped Cardiff apart in a 4-0 win, and he looked absolutely devastating. Tottenham, Dane Scarlett. According to Jose Mourinho, Dane Scarlett is going to be phenomenal for England. I'm not gonna lie, I see this guy as a direct threat to Troy Parrott's career. So I feel like a territorial pit bull who secretly wishes Scarlett falls down the stairs. But he's looked good though, scored in the 1-1 draw against Leyton Orient, and since I trust Jose's judgment so much, Scarlett's probably gonna be a golden boot winner, isn't he? Watford, Dabo Mabude. Yeah, here's Dabo Mabude. What? A 20-year-old striker who Watford just pinched from Rangers youth teams, and he's already off the mark at the Scottish underage international scoring against Colchester. His brother Dyer Mabude plays for Man City, so we're about to enter the era of the Scottish Mabudes. West Ham, Jamal Baptiste. I'm predicting big things for Jamal Baptiste. Am I? He's a 17-year-old defender for West Ham. He looked pretty good at the back in pre-season, apparently. Even scored in the 2-2 draw against Dundee. He's looked pretty good, I guess. I don't even know what he looks like. Wolves, Chem Campbell. Here's 18-year-old Wales under-17 international Chem Campbell, an 18-year-old midfielder coming through at Wolves. He just scored in the 2-1 away win in Spain against Al-Shabaab. He looked great. I did not watch Wolves play against Al-Shabaab, alright? Anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? What player are you most excited about for the next season? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.